Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Elliott Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. And just a quick update on where the market is. Starting to get that sell-off and turn. We have a lot of bearish divergences playing out on multiple time frames. And I could just click through each one and really there's really no change. So I think, we should be getting a bigger push lower. It's going to be harder to make these highs. Even if we still go higher, the divergences will just get worse. What you're hoping for if you're a bull is to erase divergence, but it's getting harder and harder to do that. So it'll take an extraordinary pump to erase that divergence the way I'm seeing the market right now. So here's the counts that I have. And we'll see, this is the sell area here. Everyone here could drop at any moment. The triple Qs, of course, there's this gap fill everyone's focused on. Can we get there? Will we not get there? I don't know. I don't care. It's just about to, divergence is about to be playing out. We'll have to see how this evolves. IWM, same thing, could still be in B, still may become a 1-2, get a bigger pump in 3, but I don't think so. I think we're pulling back here. So we got these divergences that are starting to take hold across the market on these wave 5s. On the higher degree, the shorter, almost on every indicator time frame. VIX is below support in the support area. It won't spend a lot of time down here. It should reverse out. UVIX actually is made a higher high with a bullish divergence against the VIX. It's starting to build out. So the UVIX may have already made the turn. The VIX could be right behind it. Now, China was a big pump. Everyone's all bulled up on China, but all it did is hit our sell area to complete this 3-wave move that it developed, and that should now bring us lower. Of course, if we could pull back and make a high and make an impulse, that would change everything for China and really also change the market outlook. Bitcoin, still looking for this pullback into. Again, we want to see some bullish divergence play out, this 4-hour play out. I believe this is a buyable dip whenever it happens. It should happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. Oil looks like it's already made its turn lower, although it could be early. So I think with oil, we have to watch this kind of tricky structure like that and then get C. But whenever this C leg comes, that's probably a market wipeout type situation. So we just don't know here. Gold pushing up, should get a 4 and one more 5. Silver should get one more high to finish its count. I believe this is a higher degree 3 with this peak here. So I believe this is the final impulse. This was the wave 3 and the final push. So we may not make it all the way up to 35. We may just break this high, and then that should complete this sequence, which again would be buyable after a multi-month correction. That could be pretty, I would say pretty painful, because we would be correcting the whole cycle from September 22 all the way up. We could see it come all the way back to 23 over multiple months consolidation. And dollar index looking like it's in this, I was thinking we're in this wave 4. We still aren't out of the, we still don't have a 5 yet until we break that low. So it's tough to say if we'll get a counter trend push up, then drop, or we're just already finished wave 5 early, which would be really catastrophic for the market to truncate. But I still think we could still be in this 4. Japanese yen, looking for this pump here, and then another big surge in the yen. Strength. So predicted the sell-off on my last live stream, and then of course it just didn't happen right away, and everyone's like, you're wrong, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe you're right, oh shit. What did I do? FOMO'd in yesterday. And that's the mindset of the amateur trader. There's so much dumb money in this market that needs to be blown up, guys. It's a typical of a wave 5. There's so many people that just want the market to go like that, or they just want it to freaking crash, and it isn't going to go in a straight line. It's not going to be easy. You're just going to have to be patient with these trades. Let's go to your super chats. I can only stay on until 2:30, and if I can't get to all of them by 2:30, I will note which ones I haven't got to, and I will post them later on my channel. But I have to leave. So let's go to X Saint X SOXS. Okay, that's going to be Micron, right? What's Micron going to do, guys, on earnings? Well, let's go to Micron's chart. Micron has a chart that that worries me on a higher time frame. You see, we broke this low here. We broke that low. This was obviously this swing reset this cycle. So what if this is the connector and it's finished, and this is a 1-2, and Micron is going to have a massive meltdown on earnings, like a catastrophe on earnings? The semiconductors just totally melt down. I mean, this is Micron hitting $39 if that's the count, and it could be the count. It could be the count. Now, the other count it could also be is A, B, C, and then we get our meltdown, and Micron does this like surge and reversal later. So what I'm trying to say is the semiconductors have two setups. It's either got a little bit of a surge coming and then a collapse, or the collapse is, we're on the eve of a collapse, which means SOXS could be like on a verge of making a moon play. We don't know. Unfortunately, can't predict the future, but I will look at the SOXS and see what I think of it. But I think you need to understand like the situation you find yourself in. I believe it will be higher in the future, but you may have to withstand a whipsaw action. So here we are. I have this 5 waves up and a 1-2. I mean, if we look at this technically here, it looks like it could be a 1-2 setup going into Micron's earnings. If this is the case, you'd want to buy it right here, right now, for major upside. Right as we're speaking, you want to market buy it. But like I said, there is another alternative that you have to be aware of. There's another alternative out there that you need to be prepared for, that it does something like this, and then it rips higher like that. So that's the other setup. Which one is it? I don't know. Place your bets. Let's look at clues in this wave structure. This looks like 5 down. Okay, this to me looks like 3 up. This looks like 5 with a 1-2, 1-2. It looks like to me, it just looks like to me that it wants to go down. You have 5, 3, and then you have a 5, 1-2, 1-2. So my guess is you're going to get this type of price action. Boom, boom, boom. And then some other event happens later that gets this going, which would be Micron will be going higher on earnings. But it's really a binary, like lottery type play. There's no real good clue in the market which way I would lean. So I think you're just going to have to decide, where you want to bet your money, because I believe, again, if you look at this, here, this looks like 5 up, right? This looks like 5 up. This looks like 3 down. And then you're in a C leg. I'm sorry, yeah, C leg. Something like that. Let's go to the extended hours and see if that helps. Yeah, this looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the B there. A, B, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tough to say. So I think the semiconductors is going to be tricky to predict, but ultimately it should be lower in the future. So if you're betting it's going higher, you're going against the trend, which is you're loser. You may have already lost before you placed your bet. So I don't see it as a good trading opportunity on either side of the market, other than it's a big lotto play, I think, for the downside if you get it right. Because if you get it right, the count on the downside will allow you to make some massive gains in the next 24 to 48 hours if you're right on the downside. I don't think the upside, the gains are going to be that. I mean, there'll be big gains. We'll have a gap up. We should come back to 110, 115, but somewhere in here. But we'll see how it goes. Good luck on that. All right, Ronaldo, you're saying 4. Yeah, so I think silver's in wave 5. Again, the AG play is the same count that I've been showing. I think we've been talking about. We've been talking about this AG count. So this AG count here, let's go to it here. Let's see if I can find the symbol. I don't know why it doesn't come up here. All right, there it is. So the AG count. So what it looks like to me is we're in a wave 5. Yeah, do you think this is going to be taken out? There is no way. So it's obviously this is some wave 5 here, but this looks like 3 of 5, just like silver. So I believe it's in a wave 3 of 5. So it actually should have more upside, but I believe this cycle should be ending at any moment once this happens. If you don't believe that's a 5, then you have to believe this is going to actually exceed this, be even more bullish. Like I mean, it's hard to imagine what would take to do that, but I think this is the count, just like this. And then this is obviously not valid anymore. All right, FFIE. Let's see, FFIE. Almost in our buy area, right? The second chance opportunity that could have truncated there. You know, I want to see more capitulation on the RSI than we have. You see this massive? Oh, I'm sorry. Here it is. Okay, so yeah, we're okay. This could bottom at any moment. A lot of the shit small caps, guys, the shit stock small caps are still look like they can pump again. Okay, so just understand that. So that looks like it's a long opportunity emerging or already there. Okay, Dogecoin, I think crypto has a pullback, which means Dogecoin has a pullback. But then again, we know, I think we want it to go higher, ultimately failing in a catastrophe type situation later. We don't know what that could mean. Maybe it's, Musk tied his, Musk, the ambassador and mouthpiece of Dogecoin, puts his back in behind Trump. Trump loses the election, and then Musk gets payback on him, and then he's becomes like irrelevant, and then it goes down. Like, I'm just speculating why Dogecoin would collapse and the rest of crypto may go higher, but this is the count I still have, and it looks like to me you have a cycle here and a cycle here. It looks like you've got coming out of this low like a 1-2, and this cycle looks like it's about to end. Maybe drop down and run something like that. But I still think it's going to come up to this colored box or close to it. Wolf is one that I'm looking at. We want this wave 5. And let's see where we are. Like I said, this wave 4 could be finished here, but this only looks like 3. So I'm still looking for this. Now, if the semis want to take a pump, if Micron's going to do a pump and the SOXS is going to go down, and then this should pump with it, and this could be the pump, right? And then we get the 4, and then the semis really melt down like we expect. So I think I'd go with this count for now on Wolf. Still, okay. Good luck on your trades. That's as long as these lows hold, like especially this low at 792, you should be okay in this, looking at this trade. But this is to me a trade, not a buy and hold investment situation. J-Dot. ICX. Okay. I don't know. Is that a crypto or a stock? It looks like it's a crypto. So we'll go to cryptos and see if I have this already charted. Looks like I don't have this charted, but I have it on here. Oh, there we go. Had to zoom out. So ICX, we had this buy here. This was a good buy, and we got the bounce, but then it failed. The connector, it formed a connector, and now it's taken a whole nother leg lower. So we have to, why don't we just step back and take another look at it and just see if we see anything different now that we have a lot more data. We have this bullish divergence on the RSI. You're in the same downward cycle. So this could be an impulse down. I would just label this as a 5 waves down from the top. And then what you're trying to do is play the reaction off of 5. I wouldn't be worrying about an ABC given this look of this wave. I'd be looking for a bottom of 5 waves, a 5 wave reaction. That's what I would be looking for. A, B, C, probably truncate it. And then it's coming down in 5 here. And then this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be 5 there. There's your 3. There's your 5. So that's your impulse ended here. So the interesting thing is this could be the end of the cycle right there, and it's stealth, like no one knows. We never got to this, so the ideal buy would have been at 5.5, 5.5 cents right here. So there is a chance the wave 5 could extend a little bit more, but I don't think so. Obviously, this cycle's over. The weekly cycle, you're still in the corrective mode. So it could be over. Could be a bottom right here, a major low right there that should counter trend. Now if this is only 5 waves, it will counter trend this whole move and correct for many months. Maybe it retraces 50% back or something. But there is still risk. There is still risk that you're in wave 5. So I don't know. This only looks like 3 waves down. So I would be careful, looking at this that, yeah, I think we could I still think we'll label it this way for now. We did break this high, so upside. So I definitely think it's going higher. It's going higher, but how high is anyone's guess. I would label it this way, especially with the higher high here. And see what happens. And this could be 1, 2 right there. It could be a 3, 4, 5. So I could put the 3, 4, 5 here. And then we could be pulling back in another 1, 2, and then out. That's how I would label it, just like that. All right, good luck on that. And I think you're going to get a 3-wave bounce. And I think it's starting to emerge right here, right now. And perhaps this is your last chance. This little pullback, maybe down to 13, is your last chance to get in before you get a bigger, some more separation. Here's your inverse head and shoulders. There's your right shoulder. And then, and 3-wave bounce. 3-wave bounce, use your imagination. I don't know how high it's going to go. It could retrace 50% back, 160. It could be a flat and go all the way back up. I mean, who the hell knows? I mean, but it means the cycle's over. But we don't have confirmation yet. So I think I usually think you gotta be careful, but I think to me, based on what I'm seeing, this low's in, this cycle's over. It's gonna be in a new uptrend. All right, Jonas, let's take a look at what you got here. Costs. Let's take a look at some of yours. Costs here. Costs, the structure's holding. As long as it can hold, or did it break that B wave? No, as long as it can hold that pivot. Let's go to after hours and check it out. Yeah, it's still holding. As long as it can hold it, this is still the count, but I'd be really careful because there's another way to look at it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You break this neckline, and then you'll have a massive dump. So I would definitely keep your stops tight, but I still think this is the favorable count for now. Okay, Intel, INTC. We wanted this wave 2 that should fail for more downside. Looks like a flat correction, so it could still go higher. We need to finish an impulse. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2. So it looks like it's still going to push higher in wave 2. But I believe that will fail and will go lower. And maybe we fill this gap. But I do believe you're in this wave 2 push and it's still got more upside coming. I would be looking for the gap fill. That's what I'm thinking based on this count, because this is another 1, 2 right there. Again, is this telling you semiconductors are about to go higher, not lower? Right? Look at that. NEO, let's see. So China pumped. So now we have to wait and see where China goes from here. So NEO is trying to break out of the bottom pattern it has. And it looks like we made an impulse off the low. So it looks like this wave 5 is done here. It's done. And that means this, we have to label this as the low. And now we have an impulse off the low. That looks pretty obvious to me. But it does seem like it's short a swing, like one more swing higher. Massive divergence. So this should be correcting soon. At any moment. Right? We never got the right shoulder, right? Or the usually you'll get 3. So something like that is what I'm thinking. So yeah, so we've impulsed. So, and you broke this high or close to it. So yeah, I think that's the look. To have to erase divergence would be incredible, but it's possible. But I think you got a pullback coming, something like this. But it does look like this wave 5 is not finished yet. KSPI. All right, KSPI is in the buy area and it's coming out. Looks like that wave is done and we have turned on that. It looks like it's they tried to short it again and the shorts got trapped in this bear trap here, and now it's coming out. And we have, let's go to the 45. This could be a couple things. This could be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is too short to be 3. So I would label it this way. This is very bullish. Now it could be this. I think we'll be conservative and label it like this, but this could be a 1, 2 as well. And then just boom, 126 in a blink of an eye. Okay. Bama, 7-year bonds, I believe, is starting to find sellers, right? Sellers, right? What did China do? They're going to print their way out of this mess, but that's inflationary. But there's no more room for the inflation to go anymore. This wasn't 2009 anymore. So this is just going to create a melt up in commodity prices. This is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare. It's counterproductive, pumping the markets. Like I said, this could bottom at any moment. It may have already bottomed in terms of bonds. Like if you're long 7-year bonds, it could be a huge mistake. But we don't have confirmation of a reversal. Now we do see this leg. You see the bullish divergence. This leg is over. So it is, rates are going higher. See that break? The daily cycle is going higher. So rates are going higher. This low could be in, and it could create that. Now, there's always a possibility for a bounce and a failure later. So just keep that in mind. But I think this low is in, or very close to it. But it looks like, looking at the daily cycle, it's in. So if gold's coming into a wave 5, that means the GDX and all your miners is all in wave 5s, right? But we don't know, will gold go parabolic and erase divergence? But it's got a tall task to do that. Gold will have to really get going. I mean, to take out the divergence that that would be a massive accomplishment for gold. Do I like the top ticket? Hell no. But I mean, this still could be the flat, right? This could still be a flat, right? It still be a flat. If we take this peak out, the flat is in play. Where's the target for the flat? We're in it. So, it's not all clear. So it's very dangerous to be chasing the gold miner, because it could easily be this count. A little bit higher, and then bam, all the way back down to $29. Right? A false breakout. Basically, a false breakout. But is it guaranteed? I don't know. I would say if this happens, opportunity of a lifetime to go long. Like the market gave you a massive gift. Now, if this doesn't happen, we're going to see acceleration, and that means gold is going to see gains that no one has ever thought was possible, because gold will probably be going up 10-15% in one day. That type of moves, which these miners will move. We have the bearish divergences here. We're not seeing divergence taken out. It's got a tall task. It's got to take out these divergences. So we need acceleration right here, right now in that market. But if you saw my count in gold, it's coming to the end. I follow traders that don't trade Elliott waves. They have a different system. They love gold. They love gold. They love metals. They love it more than I do. And they use it. But you know what? They're even selling. There was some posts on when silver was hitting 32. They're like, hey, even I know the cycle is time to get out. And these dudes are good. I mean, so I don't see the buy and hold. I don't see the doubt. I see news media attention, massive news media. I see all the signs that it's at a cycle peak from a sentiment standpoint, not necessarily like don't buy this shit. It's dead money. Like, I don't see that kind of talk anywhere. And when the pro trading community that, is finally taking some profits and things, then I'm like, maybe it is a wave 5. So I think you got to be careful in the miners, but know that if it does the flat, the way the flat plays out is the C leg is usually a crash, and then it almost always results in higher highs in the future. As people, I call it the suicide wave, as people lose all their money, they capitulate, they jump off the bridges, and then only in a year to watch it go much higher, just like we saw in 2009. And then they like, what did I do? Because but trust me, if this drops down, it's going to create a great second chance entry and opportunity if this happens. So anyway, gold miners is tricky. BTU, I don't like BTU with the commodities. I think the commodity complex has downside coming, oil and everything else, and I do believe BTU is no exception. I believe it will get hit. I think the commodities are going to be risk off. Perhaps there's a deflationary scare coming, recession, Great Recession Part 2. Should I say depression even? Oh my God, depression even. I think there's a few commodities that are oversold that may do okay, but not. I think the way this is going to trade, here's what I think is going to happen. BTU drops, the market makes, maybe the market gyrates, makes a 4 and a 5, then BTU, oil bottoms at 50, everything's bottom, then commodities moon, and you'll get the inflationary bear market. So I still think BTU should make this drop, and this looks like 5 down, and it needs another swing. So my guess is it's due for a drop at any moment. It could be rejected on the downtrend line here and do something like that. A break above 2768 would negate this chart, and then it's much more bullish, and it's something else. And then I would expect this high to break. Ultimately breaking this high will create a massive opportunity. So I think, why bother here? Wait till it breaks 28, then go long and make all the money versus guessing. What, you're just gonna, oh, I'm gonna lose $2, so I'll lose $2 just to be sure. So I would be on the sidelines on this one. Fubu, again, a lot of the shit stocks, small caps, look to me like they need to pump a little more, which goes against, like, the market should, like, go into the abyss, go to hell in the abyss right now. Like, yeah, there could be a pullback, but I still think, and this could still be 4 just like that, by the way. So we don't know. So again, the structure's holding. As long as 114 holds, this should hold. I wouldn't change it. I would just be like, maybe at any moment you could get this 5th wave and then a massive dump again. Or if you're really lucky, it's a 1-2, 1-2, and it just is off to the races as it moons. So this could be, you could go long and put your stop here at 114, or maybe even at 108, and try to trade that. See what happens. But I think there's better small caps out there to trade than this setup that I see here. And now, is Fubo now a go to zero? No, it's not a go to zero stock until this low breaks right there. Until that low breaks right there at, I guess, 90 cents. So no, it is not a go to zero stock. It is holding the structure. Somehow it is holding up. Okay, Anonymous, let's go to this. Yes. Bullish on, MicroStrategy is negated the bear case, which is, thank God it's done it. Although I think it means the bear case will reemerge later. I think it haunts the crypto market, haunts that corporation. This can't be B because it's too strong within that leg. So that means we're still in X. So yes, this Y leg is coming, but not until probably it's going to break this high here, is what I'm thinking. So I would be looking for, like, it could probably go back up to 221 even. So this plays into the Bitcoin wave 4 theory, that Bitcoin is in this wave 4. Now, I personally think Bitcoin spent too much time consolidating for it to be a wave 4. But what do I know? I have to respect the wave 4 theory here. What's the wave 4 theory? Well, it's, what do you label this leg? I label it as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and then it's a massive upside because we spent so much time consolidating here. Now, Elliott wave, practitioners, they disagree. They'll say, no, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll have a massive dump all the way back down to 42,000. Now, MicroStrategy is kind of showing that maybe that's the path. So I think if we can get to 80,000, 84, 85,000, we got to watch for the false breakout and then annihilation, and then we get the wave 3 that everyone dreams about later in 2025 or possibly even 26. I think, though, I would be careful. So if this is going to happen, then MicroStrategy's bottomed, or there's some company-specific catastrophe coming for them that we don't know about in this chart. It's nothing to do with something, Sailor fucked up somewhere and he fucked his company up, and it's like we don't know. But I think this count is Bitcoin's 42,000 Bitcoin. It's down here. Boom. If this isn't it, then it's bottomed. And it's just a very unusual bottom that just kind of, doesn't look that great to me, which is why I won't buy MicroStrategy personally. I will play crypto without buying MicroStrategy because of this chart and what it's telling me. But you'll have to do what's best for you on that. But that's Bitcoin. So that's my answer with Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. Okay, so BCHG should be okay as long as Bitcoin holds up. Again, it looks like to me it's in a 1-2-1-2 setup. Could this be an ABC? It could be, and could come back down. I mean, the cycles, it looks like his daily cycle is turning down. It looks like it wants to turn down. It does show some 3-wave-ish action. So perhaps we are in a higher degree too, and we do something like this, which would be a massive opportunity again to go long. Will the market give you that gift? Maybe. Maybe I'll do that. That's what I'm seeing perhaps develop here. Something like that. Okay, LTCN. Again, we called the top. I mean, guys, we called this top, so now we're in this wave 2. So where can wave 2 bounce? Let's find this one looks like a very easy 3-wave price action. It's in a bounce area here. So this would be really bullish for Litecoin. I'm not sure why Litecoin would be that bullish given how big this wave 5 is. Look at that divergence, but obviously this cycle's over, right? This cycle's over. The 4-hour cycle isn't. So maybe what we'll see here is something like this. Something like that, right? There's always a possibility I'm wrong and it's an ABC and it just crashes through. So I wouldn't buy this because I look at this wave structure, I wouldn't buy that here. That's why I would wait. The ideal buy point for this is at 11:30. And honestly, I would rather see it just kind of crash down there if it can. And guys, we called this. We said, hey, it's probably going to reverse at this trend line, and that's what it did. All right, MIGI, looking for this wave 5. Still looking for this wave 5. It's stuck. I guess no one wants to buy it anymore. Still looking for the wave 5. No change. All right, Festival, UEC. So UEC pumped. Uranium pumped, guys. And I said it again on my channel before. I called URA on my channel. Go look at my Twitter post way before they started 3 Mile Island, before Microsoft, before it was in the news media, before all that. So where are we going with it? So we said that when the last update on here, I said this could have truncated if we came back and took this high out. So that was the sign that this was over. So this truncated. It's very bullish. I expect now more upside. This is buyable, and we should get a big pump out of this. But don't be dumb money in the people that are like, it didn't go up, because it doesn't go straight up. It never does. It's probably a 3, a 4, and a 5. What happens on 5, right guys? It pulls back and it does something like that. So just that's the most likely path. Now there is another path, of course, where this could be something a little different, right? This could be something a little different. 1, 2, 1, 2. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's obviously bullish, and I would just stay with that trade. EXK is another one. Again, I worry about these wave 5s in the precious metal market, but you'll have to decide what's best for you. You'll have to decide what's best for you and how you want to do it. I can't, again, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what the future holds. So we have this 5th wave we're in, and we should be getting a pullback. See that divergence? We should be getting a pullback against this cycle. So it could be a pretty nasty pullback, but then I think you can make one more high on this chart, looking at this chart, before you get even a more worrisome correction, longer correction. So that's the count. Again, we had the buy area here. Again, people weren't patient. Someone's like, oh, you were wrong on this. And not you, of course, that asked the question. Other people that watch me. But then I'm like, oh, maybe you weren't wrong. Because people are so impatient. The dumb money traders just want it to go straight up. It never does, guys. It does. You see these waves. It always does it. It always pulls back. You have to be able to manage your money properly. If you can't do that, maybe you shouldn't trade. If you can't manage your money correctly, you shouldn't trade. Have someone else trade for you. Find someone like me and give them your money, and then you don't have to worry about it, because you have to have patience through these swings and let these waves build into something spectacular. It just never just goes straight up. It's rare. It happens once in a while, but it's never the case typically. Of course, it's got to erase divergence to create the moon boy scenario, which this would be a 1-2, boom. But I don't think it's going to do that. NVIDIA looks like, again, NVIDIA, guys, is definitely a day traders are in love with this stock. I would avoid it, but what do I know? It's in an X wave. It seems to be in some kind of X wave triangle, but I could talk myself out of that because this looks like 5 waves up. So I still think this is the count that I have here. You come up, you come down, you come up, maybe to here, drop, and then you come back up again, and then you get the massive top that everyone's looking for. So why this looks like 5 up, but again, this wave looks like 5 down, so you have to put the low here, which would be a 1-2, 1-2. So I'm going to go with this count, guys. You're going to have to decide what you want to do. I would put the B there, come out, and then what I would do here is then label this as an A, B, C, and then I would label this as a 1, 2, 1, 2. What does this say? Micron earnings should create semiconductor bullishness. That's what this is saying, if this is the right chart. However, it's counter trend because ultimately it should get $80. It should hit $80. So it's not a trade that I would want to take or recommend, but this is what I'm just giving you what my thoughts are looking at it, because this looks like 5 waves up here to me. Good luck on that. NVIDIA trade. AMC, last I looked at that, it looked a little weak to me. AMC looked weak, which is always a little concerning, but the structure's holding. And as long as the structure holds, let's see what's going on here. So we'll go to extended hours just to make sure our levels are right. So here you go. 415. It's got to hold 415 to keep the structure, the bullish case, I think, intact. So it's close. It's close to a decision point. 415 is kind of where I would put the line in the sand for it. You'll have to decide how you want to trade that. But yeah, I would be looking at 415 and get rid of some of these lines. Okay. So looking at it with extended hours data, again, this is a tough chart to trade because this looks like some kind of sideways consolidation in X, which is what it did before it mooned last time. So it's so hard to mislabel that. It's so hard to label the X wave properly because this sideways nature of the wave that you really, you know, maybe even this is the better pivot to use 402. Again, I'll just try to look at it. Again, I'm using extended hours data. One, two, C. Maybe something like that, right? You got one, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you do it one more time down. Why don't we go with that for AMC for right now? Why don't we go with that, which means this is the leg we're in. We'd still want to stay above 415. So the buy would be right about where we are now. Right now. So it's in an area to buy it. If you believe in the pump, in this tradable pump to maybe 550 or higher, and if you're lucky, you got the bottom. And this is, but I think we'll go with discount, given the extended hour data, incorporating that into the chart graph. Just kind of figure we'll go with this for now. But I think it's in this sideways consolidation that it's just going to take time to play out at some point. And that's the fractal it kind of likes to keep. All right, SIL. Let's go to SIL. So SIL, guys, is another one that I would think is in a wave 5. All the miners should be close to finishing. So again, could it be a 3? We could still be in 2. It's the same kind of talk. We have all this bearish divergence. It looks like a wave 5. Be careful. Just be careful it doesn't turn into this. That's what I think is going to happen. But if we start erasing divergence, I would say this is the first peak to take out on the 4-hour. Then it more than likely the 2 is in, and that's a 2, and it's just going to moon. Okay, thanks again, Timothy. I'll go to your questions here, bud. Boy, that got beat up, huh? I'm surprised we haven't labeled this yet. Looks like we erased divergence. That looks like the bottom. That actually looks like 5 up. So it looks to me that it's building off of a low here. This looks like some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you had a 3-wave crash correction, essentially here. That ended, and now you're building off this low. That looks like 3. So it looks like to me you got like a 1, 2 here. But this wave looks like it wants to finish 5 and then pull back. So this to me looks like you're in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some kind of leading diagonal, and then out and then out. That's what I think you're going to be in. Let's see how the RSI looks. Yeah, you see the peak here in 3. So yeah, I would label it this way. And now you're going to get some, I think you should get one more high and then a bigger pullback. And bud. Car's in the buy area and it bounced. It's another one of those shit stock, small cap. Well, it's not even a small cap, I guess. But it hit the buy area, it's bouncing. I mean, do we have technical break on the RSI on the weekly cycle? It looks like that leg is finished with capitulation. Looks like a good buy. Avis looks like a good buy. On the pullback, it looks like it's also pulling back here off of this 5-wave move off the low. Right? So, but the pullback can be deep. Right? It could be deep. It could go all the way back down, just down here even. So we don't know. So I think it's doing something like that. And then at some point it'll come out. Obviously it has to hold 65. If it doesn't do that, it's game over for Avis. C-Web. Internet bull shares. Again, always careful in these bullish ETFs, especially levered. Looks like to me you have your 3-wave reaction here. You broke that low. It should head lower. This rally will fail. So yeah, ultimately this is so we're off of this connector. We have we're just gonna continue lower. We'll say we're moving in 3 waves, and we'll try to like, you know, figure this thing out a little bit from the top here. Obviously, it hasn't had a lot of success for any buy and hold traders. May never get that Y wave, but we're in this X wave. It looks like to me that was your connector right around here. You see the RSI reset. Let's go to a higher time frame. You're trying to build out bullish divergence here. Let's see here. You have no low here. Let's take a look. I don't want to get too bearish on it. Looks like to me the first leg of the cycle's over and you're in a connector wave. So it appears that's 5 down in that connector wave. So that's why we're bouncing. So we have an A and we're in some kind of B and C. So we're in some kind of B wave right now. That's playing out. The question is it a triangle? B. And it very well could be. It very well could be. So I would say caution is warranted, but I believe it's something like A, B, C, D, E. B is in, and then you get another leg lower. I mean, I'm sure it will reverse split or whatever it needs to do. I'd rather buy it at that other level that I was telling you. Where was that level? I'd rather buy it. Actually, we'll measure it from here to here at 422 for a much more substantial bottom of the whole structure. So this whole structure should go lower. So I think this is the count that I'm seeing. E should maybe go a little bit higher, but not much more. Negate this by taking this peak out. If it could take out 46.33, then the connector is going to be a flat, and then it should rise above $75, $80, but ultimately fail. So I think I would just label it this way for now, and then you'll have to decide how you want to play that move. And the YNN is the same chart. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like the same levered fund. Maybe it doesn't have all the tech stocks in it, but it's the same chart. And look, we had the same look. We had this count. Someone asked me about this earlier, right? So there it is. And it looks like your W was shallow and you're already in your Y. And that could be over now. Yeah, see, that Y could be over now. It could be done now. So this could be over. But now technically, I would have liked to see a little more upside, but it doesn't have to. So this, again, the China pump, I think, is just a false thing. I think it's nothing great. And I do believe if Trump wins, China's going to tank. I mean, my God, is China going to tank? If Trump wins the election in November, which we're only like a little over a month away, a month and a half away. If he comes out the victor, you're gonna regret owning anything in China. You might as well just give your money to your best friends and just say, or go donate it to charity, because you're gonna lose all. I don't even want to know what the China market will trade on, the day after the election if Trump wins, because he's made it clear he is going to tariff the hell out of these guys, and that's going to destroy their economy, guys. It's going to annihilate them. And maybe it's a bluff, maybe it's a negotiation play, but the market will sell and ask questions later. That's the rug pull in China that I think that's what I think, what could take China and annihilate China down to these levels, down to here to 550, 500. That's what will happen. If Trump wins, this will break down this whatever you want to call this consolidation, and then we will get this leg lower, and then it's like, mercy, we give up, you win. Hell, we'll be a democracy after all. And then, who knows what the hell will happen then. But I think this is the count. Now, I still have this other swing higher. It may not happen. I mean, it may have actually done it like this. Maybe, so caution is warranted, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay, Mitso, HSI. Yeah, so again, I think it's going to be another leg lower. And then you may get another rally and then a drop. But then again, like I said, I could talk myself into doing this based on some of these charts. Let's take a look here. Yeah, if we could go a little bit higher, then we go to this count. So it could be this count if we can go a little bit higher. If we don't, then I think it's something different, and we'll go back to this look, something like that. It can even be that. So that's, but I'm not interested in chasing this at all. I could care less. You think I'm going to buy anything China related before the election? Like I said, if Trump wins, China's getting annihilated. Why would you take that risk? Why would you hold anything related to China before you know the outcome of that election is beyond me. But people do stupid things with their money all the time. So I guess I'm not surprised. All right, SLB. So OIH and SLB show signs that the energy market may not be as bearish as you believe it will be, even though oil and the producers could drop, the services may not. OIH is a buy today, right now. You can just, maybe if this count is right, you can buy it, which means Schlumberger is a buy right now. As you can see, Schlumberger hit the buy area, it bounced. So where do I think Schlumberger is going? Schlumberger is a tough one because it is deep enough in terms of Fibonacci level to be supported. The OIH could support it. So maybe my count is off. But then again, I look at the count, maybe my count isn't off. Maybe it's right. And we have some one more wave down. So I don't know. I wouldn't buy it. I'd rather buy the OIH that to me has a clearer count. But then again, Schlumberger makes up most of the OIH. So it's a lot of mixed messages. I think if you're a long-term investor, it's probably okay to think about buying it. But then again, it could still drop to 34. So it's tough. I don't have a good opinion on it other than it doesn't look like the swings are in. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Let's look at the higher time frame. Yeah, it may even still be in this three leg. So, I look at everything, and again, the OIH gives me conflicting messages. This could also be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if that's the case, that's a 3. So we could have this labeled incorrectly, and I'm kind of doing this on the fly here. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. And maybe this is a flat, right? Maybe this wasn't Maybe it's just not labeled quite right. Maybe I could put the 5, here, put the 3 here. Again, this is why somewhat Elliott waves, I believe, is subjective in some ways. And you see how I could kind of tweak the labeling of the waves to make it just a little bit different, and then do something like A, B, C, and then I could end it with one more low. Just see how beautiful that is. And now it maybe syncs up better with the OIH count. So just tough call. It's tough because I don't trade just on labeling. I look at this overall. I'd rather buy the OIH than buy the I'd rather buy the OIH. I'd rather buy the OIH, guys. To me, the OIH looks like it looks to me like, the OIH looks okay. To me, the OIH looks okay. Now, like I said, there's always a chance I'm wrong, right? I can always be wrong, but I would just say that, just keep an open mind about SLB. Like I said, I think SLB could make another low, but you just sometimes you just don't know, and I think you'll have to do what's best for you. So anyway, that's enough. That's all I can say on that. Okay, so good luck on that. That's okay. Crocs. Yeah, I don't know how yet YouTube does the $4.99. I saw the $4.99. I was like, you guys cheat, but won't give me a penny. I don't care. It's close enough. I figured YouTube doesn't do it right or something, which is what, or it doesn't allow you to do it. Crocs is a no discretionary play. Crocs, like I said, let's see here. Crocs. Connector wave looks like a connector wave to me. That's in. So I've got. Let's just look at this one more time. Let's take a look. 3 down, bounce at a failure for here. Now we're in an X wave up. So it looks like to me within the X wave you're gonna have a W, X, and a Y. So I think you got something like this coming. So probably more upside, and then some kind of rug pull. Maybe it could get to 162, retest that high. I think it's got something like that coming. I think it's got more upside. Looking at the structure. Okay, GB 20 year. Let's go to GB 20 year. Let's see, the British bond market, probably like rest of the world markets, it's in for a higher rate cycle. So now you see that peak right there on that peak. That's corrective. So this is different than the U.S. market. This market has an impulse. The U.S. market is impulsive, coming off the low. This looks like it's corrective. Now, this looks like a connector wave consolidation. So I think you've got, it's unclear, because this could easily be an A, B, C, D, E, right? I could do that, and then I could easily go W, X, Y, and it follows the world markets higher, which I think this is probably the most likely path. So I think this is the count until this C breaks at 393, which I'll be surprised if it does. But once this breaks higher, this triangle or bull flag or whatever you want to call this pattern, once this breaks out, you'll get a whole leg higher. And I believe, my guess is it's going to break out higher given where the rest of the world markets are trading with their interest rates right now. Why would this be any different? And that would bring it to 7.928, 9%. And then possibly that could be your secular top in rates before we get a new decline later. That's what I'm thinking based on what I see right now. Good luck on that trade or investment. All right, so I got through my super chats, guys. Like I said, I got to leave at 2:30 today. I'll try to do another call. Hopefully, this hurricane doesn't mess me up in Florida. I doubt it. I'm on the other side of it. So, but if I can't do it, I won't. But I'll just scan comments. I went through your semiconductors. I think Tesla's due a pullback with the rest of the market, but Tesla should be supported for another swing higher. I'd like to see a pullback on that. I did NVIDIA already. URA is either in a 1-2-1-2 setup, or it's going to pull back on 5, will be buyable dip. It's tough to say as it's building off the low. Then we've got AMC is going to 0. It might go to 0. You're right. AMC it could go to 0. But that's why you have to manage your money and use stop losses, because every stock you trade could go to 0. Enron went to 0, and at the time Enron was like as beloved as NVIDIA. Well, hell, NVIDIA could go to 0, right? We don't know. Any stock can go to 0. Any company could collapse. Companies, collapse. Intel may go to 0. We don't know. Anything you invest in can always go to 0 for the reasons you don't think of. No one can outsmart the market. And that's just the way the market works. Celsius did break the low. I believe it's in the 5th wave. Look for that bullish divergence on all the time frames. If bullish divergence holds, it's a 5th wave, and it's just we were originally missing that 5th wave. We thought we could have broke out without it, but it looks like that's not the case. So it's still a 5th wave, but if the divergence gets erased, then I would be really careful staying in that trade, and you just have to stop out. But we'll see. Okay, so that's where things are. Elon is the next Enron. Well, if I don't know what will happen, but I do believe the chart of Tesla is got some negative features to it now, but I believe in the short term it should make another swing higher off of this pullback that we should be getting like now or any week now, next couple weeks, but it should be. But like I said, it's not a chart I would be trading. There's so many other things to trade, right? I gave you URA. Now they're like, oh, that was the best trade the last 4 weeks. But guys, I gave you that for free on my Twitter channel. No one had to pay $5 for that. I just told you like that was a good thing to get into. And I told you the cycle ended, and it ended. But nobody wants to trade URA. Everyone wants to trade NVIDIA and Tesla and all this other shit. It's like, guys, you got to trade other things. There's so many symbols out there. So many symbols that are so ripe for opportunity. And but everyone wants to trade Tesla and NVIDIA for God knows what reason. All right, guys, that's all I got. We'll talk later. Good luck trading, and we'll see. We got big news events coming, PCE and all that later in the week, Micron earnings. I think those are going to really move the market, and we'll go